Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your evening to listen to this speech. So I'm going to talk with you about the importance of why I feel we should keep fine arts in education today. Have you ever heard the phrases, "Oh, you can't test fine arts, you can't, test somebody who's in band or in chorus because you can't put a Scantron in front of them in a sort of band setting." So, or ever hear phrases such as, "What's the band program going to do for our school?" Like that doesn't bring in as much funding as, say, a football program or a cheerleading squad or anything. So I'm here to tell you why I feel like the importance of keeping fine arts education should be a top priority in today's education system. So to start out, I'm going to just kind of hit on three different points. A lot of academic benefits for one, non-academic benefits, and some following of why students or even teachers or administration should see the importance of keeping fine arts education. So I'm going to hit on that and also talk about some personal points for myself. So to start out, just kind of hitting on some academic benefits. Sufficient data showcases that involvement in fine arts is such a key component to success in other academic areas and improved learning. An article written by Robert Fiske states that the impact on arts and learning evidence shows that involvement in fine arts reduces student dropout rates, raises student attendance, develops better team players, improves student dignity, and produces a more prepared citizen for the workplace. There's also evidence that shows that evidence from brain research that engagement in fine arts is super beneficial to one's educational development. The arts help develop neural systems in the brain that help produce great benefits ranging from motor skills or even creativity that help produce greater emotional balance among students. Judith Burton from Columbia University states that evidence shows that areas in mathematics, science, language arts, and even other languages are greatly enhanced for students who are involved in band or chorus or a lot of these theater programs. There's also some other great doctors and other education systems out there that state that R.E. Baker from the Arts Education Partnership states that students involved in music had advanced math achievement and outperformed others in assessments in math and just do way better in calculus and statistics and other mathematical areas. Baker also states that there are increased SAT scores for students who are involved in fine arts, and a lot of the students have some of the highest math and verbal SAT scores who took the SAT. Dr. Frank Wilson from the University of California states that instrumental practice or even choral practice helps enhance coordination, concentration, and memory, and also brings about improvement of eyesight. Wilson also states that fine arts fully involves functions that any other activities have studied. So kind of hitting, if you were to compare somebody who's involved with fine arts versus somebody who's involved with football or any other sorts of programs, there's increased literacy rates, and students' perpetual, imaginative, and visual abilities are greatly enhanced for somebody who's involved in that. So moving forward, those are some great academic benefits that kind of come off of students who are involved with fine arts. And so to hit on some non-academic benefits, there's a lot of improved self-esteem, motivation in students, great travel opportunities, and a greater passion to learn. So kind of hitting off of those, Fiske, who wrote about some academic benefits, also writes that there's improved self-esteem among students, there's greater motivation, greater social experiences, and appreciation of diversity. I myself, I'm involved in Red Coat Marching Band in Georgia, which is one of the largest organizations on campus, and there's such a wide variety of students coming from different backgrounds, different states, different countries. So it's provided me not only an opportunity to meet new people, but just to kind of branch out of my own little clique that I've grown up in and just sort of branch out into other areas. There's also travel opportunities that arise. Personally for myself, I've been able to go to Chicago, Disney World, New York, and being in the Red Coat Band, I've been able to travel to all the different UGA football games. And so I know not only for myself, but for other students as well, they have just greater enhanced travel opportunities that progress forward with that. Also hitting on some other non-academic benefit. Hitting on some other non-academic benefits. The third thing I like to state is that the following findings should be noted by anybody involved in the education system. So whether that be teachers or administrators or even other students who see some of their friends who are involved with that. Students are better able to connect with one another. The love of learning is really reignited in students amongst their peers. Students have something to look forward to at the end of the day when, say, they have band or they have chorus to look forward to. This is not so much having a drudgery, having to sit through classes and take tests all day long. They have something to look forward to. So it really enhances their love of learning in that sense. Also, students learn to become more self-sufficient with their learning. They're not just becoming facets of just stored information and just regurgitating information for student or for teachers on a daily basis. They really doesn't just learn to regurgitate, but they become more of a well-rounded student in that sense. Arts also provide just immense challenges for students that other students who aren't involved with arts get to achieve. There's people who have the opportunity to be involved in auditions, halftime performances, theater performances, or even solo performances. It just gives students an opportunity to express themselves in an outlet that they wouldn't get to, say, just taking a math test or taking a science test. It really allows students to express themselves socially, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, just to kind of set themselves apart from somebody else in that sort of sense. Personally for myself, fine arts has had such a tremendous impact on myself over the last 20 years that I've been living. I started playing the piano when I was in 2nd grade, and moving forward with that, I began to play the tuba when I was in 6th grade, and had immense opportunities come about from that. I made the Georgia All-State Band when I was in middle school and high school, and attended the Georgia Governor's Honors Program as well in music, and served as my drum major in high school, and have since joined the Redcoat Marching Band at UGA. So there's just been immense opportunities that have come about from my involvement in fine arts, and I can also say just academically as well. I feel like there's been greater enhanced opportunities there for a lot of my academic areas as well. So just to kind of conclude things, I feel like fine arts can be one of the best facets that you can get a child involved with at such a young age. My parents started me out, like I said, when I was in 2nd grade, and that really just brought out so many opportunities, and really was able to just express myself in a way that is different from a normal classroom setting in that area. So I highly encourage people to get their children involved with fine arts at such a young age, just based off of these facts that I showed you here. So thank you again for your time. I appreciate all of you listening, and thanks so much.